series about pentatonics and how to get your hands around them. In the last video we looked at a couple of little extensions on the fingering that we started with. Fifth position A minor. We added down the bottom and that up at the top. So today what I'm going to talk about is passing notes. Now people love to give stuff labels. We hear stuff. I mean, the blues scale. What does that mean? Oh well, it's this scale. Well, anything in life is rarely a straight line, if ever. Okay, so a blues scale is actually a combination of things. It's not one scale. Okay, that's something for another video. But before we get too caught up with this, what I'm getting at is basically clarity. So what we want to say is, well, what are we doing here? Well, we're going to take an A minor pentatonic scale. Now at this point we know what that is. Okay, what are we going to do with it? Well, I'm going to add a passing note, so it doesn't become something else with a weird name. It becomes what it is, A minor with a passing note. Okay, now the passing note happens to be a flat fifth. This is very hard on the ear. I'll demonstrate. Very hard on the ear. Okay, it's what you might call a sort of a hot note, if you will. You need to get off that note fairly quick and resolve it, but the point of it is that it creates tension while you do play it. So here's an example. Okay, so that's just the low octave of our A minor pentatonic. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add that passing note in. Okay, now it's suddenly got a little bit more interesting, hasn't it? Now again here, as well as resolving that note downwards, or we can resolve it upwards. Now that time I'm messing around with something a little bit more striking, I suppose you could say, and what I've done that time is I haven't resolved the note directly. Now I have. Yeah, and you can hear that starting to sound quite meaty, I think would be a good example of it. Okay, or meat substitute. Here's another example of that flat 5 passing note, and it crops up on our 3rd string. Okay. So you can hear very powerful note that. We can also use that idea as well. Or if we get both together, which is a little bit more fun still, but okay. Now, there's a very important point I just want to come to with the introduction of this note. And you'll notice the fingering now, 1, 3, 4. Now, a lot of guys seem to say, oh yeah, I only use 3 fingers. In fairness, Eric Clapton's one of them, and he hasn't done too bad. But I'm going to put it to you this way. If you have a dog and you take it out for a walk and it goes for a run, because dogs are quite good at running, how many legs does it normally use? I think it normally uses all 4, doesn't it? So to say to yourself, well, I'm going to take this particular Labrador out for a walk, but I'm only going to use 3 of the fingers and not 4, seems to me to be making your life very difficult. Always think about your fingering. Try and make, don't make this, you're trying to reach stuff all the time. Make it easy. You don't want to be running around. You just want to make it easy. Anyway, okay, that's me nagging a bit, but okay. So as soon as you say that, somebody say, oh yeah, but the finger's not strong enough and it doesn't do this and it doesn't do that and I can't do this and I can't do that. I get to do something. Okay, I want you to put your left hand on a flat surface. So here's a flat surface of sorts. Okay, got my hand on there. So what I want you to do is want you to lift up your first finger. Yeah, quite easy. Second finger. Yeah, little finger. Okay, third finger. Oh, yes, exactly. So, okay. Although your little finger, as its name might suggest, is smaller, it's actually very manoeuvrable compared to your third finger. So always a case of getting used to using it. And as I said, that makes your life easy. Now, there's one other part within this particular fingering that the flat 5 passing note comes in again, and again it crops up on our little finger. If you look at what happens here, okay, I can do that. If I use my little finger, it's easy. So okay, we're up here. Okay. Now, a little bit of technique for this, because the resolution upwards is going to be there, isn't it? That's our downward resolution. So, there's a load of stuff you can do with that. That passing note really does sort of spice stuff up a little bit, doesn't it? You get that little finger involved, it helps it all along. Some people describe that as a minor blues scale. I don't really think that's a good description, because, well, there's a whole variety of reasons why not, but I'm going to stick with what I said before, which is to say this is a minor pentatonic with a flat 5 passing note in it. Okay, it works nicely in a minor blues, but that doesn't necessarily make it a minor blues scale, because there's a load of other notes that we could use as well. More about that as we go along. Anyway, so if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be great, and I'll be back with the next instalment very soon. Okay, bye for now.